guys, I'm here today with Cesar Lujan, and we're going to be talking about the services that he provides and find out a little bit about him. So I guess first, tell us, what do you do? What is your service?
That's a great question. I'm originally from El Paso, and I've moved around to a couple of different places. I've lived in New York, and I've lived in California. My spiritual journey began in New York with crystals, and transitioned into sound and Reiki energy as well as Mediterranean energy. And it wasn't until about 3 years ago that I got fully certified in sound, and that has been like my actual passion. Aside from doing with crystals, as I mentioned, I do like crystal healings, I do crystal grids, crystal services for people. With Reiki energy, of course, Reiki sessions. I also do Reiki meditations for group sessions. And then the same thing with Mediterranean. Mediterranean is just a different form of Reiki per se. It's just deals with different energies. But it wasn't until I got certified in 2019 for my certification for sound that it really just opened up the passion for sound, because I had always been a big fan of sound. I knew some of what the potentials could do when I was younger, listening to like softer music as I pulled out oracle cards. Really changed my perspective on things. It made me it made the pace of life slow down a lot. It made my conscious raise awareness, and so I just felt much more at ease. But once I was in my sound certification, well, first of all, I did a sound bath, and that just blew my mind. I didn't really believe how quickly you can get into a meditative state, and so quickly and so deeply with just a sound bath. So I was blown away, and that's when I wanted to do my certification. When I was in the middle of my certification, I was just sitting in a meditative position, and my teacher was banging this drum behind her back. And if you can imagine, like when you're cleaning out a dirty old rug, you hang it up and then you just beat it, and all that dust and particles just flies off.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was feeling. I felt like all these dust, all this particles, all this negativity, crap, whatever it was just like flying off my body. And it was so profound and so cathartic that I just started crying, like a little kid, just crying and crying and crying and crying. And afterwards, I felt just so light. It was such a cathartic release, and that it just like, I don't know, it blew my mind. It really changed my perspective on things. It really I got a very deep level of healing without me knowing that I needed it. And I was fascinated by that. I'm like, if that can happen to me, then I can definitely facilitate that for many more people.
Yeah.
And so I've developed and have grown this passion for sound, and being able for people to just sit down and quiet their minds and just be open to listen to it, because you don't have to do anything with sound. Sound just penetrates the body, as we are excellent conductors of it. And whatever rises to the surface is for you to choose if you want to let go of or not. So that's the beauty of it, and working with the Mercado has also been giving me a great purpose to be able to offer this to the community, to be able to see and hear the stories of all these people and how impactful it is to receive a sound bath. And I've seen it all. I've seen from the quiet moments of people are like really into it to chaotic rooms like this, and people will come back and tell me, oh my goodness, I had such a deep connection and such an incredible experience. And of course, your logic mind is like, there's so much noise, like how is that even possible?
Yeah.
But that's the magic of it. That's the true power of it. As long as you're able to travel and let yourself go, then it's all just pure bliss.
Yeah. So the sound bath that you first experienced, where was that at?
It was in Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
I had been working with sound for a little bit. They didn't call them sound baths at that time, but there was a gentleman that did flutes, and he played multiple flutes. He would do like a sound journey with the flutes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
No,
You're
that's
fine.
fine.
Appreciate it. He would do a sound bath with, quote unquote, sound bath with flutes, and basically he would just guide you into the meditation, and then him just play from whatever, like no dedicated music, just whatever was channeling through him. And people had some beautiful experiences, and I did too as well. But it wasn't until I had the actual sound bath that I just deeply went into that meditative state, that I had that profound sense of being gone, like not being in this body.
Yeah, that's nice. I'm interested in it. I've never done that before. And honestly, I guess so you can kind of explain to me too, in case anybody else doesn't know. So I've heard of Reiki like a million times, and I still don't know exactly what it is.
Yes.
What exactly is that?
So Reiki is basically an ancient Japanese relaxation technique. This gentleman that went up to be enlightened into the mountain received like this whole channeling of energy and was kind of intuitively instructed on how to use it. And so once he came back down the mountain, was able to transmit this energy into being able to heal people by touch. At the very basic level, Reiki will just allow you to have relaxation and peace and tranquility. You will feel the energy as it moves throughout the body. But with dedication, with proper intention, then you can dedicate Reiki into whatever facet of your life that you would like to. As a practitioner, we can of course infuse it into everyday lives, but for someone who's a client and wants to just experience Reiki, let's say for example, you have a big surgery coming up, in a month. We can work together, create some sort of plan for you in regards to the surgery, and then we can send Reiki energy to the surgery. What does that mean? That means that we're going to send Reiki energy, so all that positivity, all that connection to source that comes from within, to not only to yourself, but to all the nurses and doctors in that room, to all that situation, to have the best outcome for you. So it's a beautiful experience to be able to just dedicate. It's almost like if you want to think about it like a vision board. You get everything that you want, you put it up on that vision board, and then you essentially manifest it as you're putting an intention to it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with Reiki. You're just sending that intention to whatever you want, sending the energy for that to happen and to facilitate that.
So have you ever had a client come in who's a little bit challenging because they're like, oh, this isn't going to work? So like, because me personally, I used to be so negative, like in my past. I was negative all the time. And then I started reading up on energy and positivity and manifesting things, and it honestly has changed a lot of things for me, right?
Yes.
Like I'm a much more positive person. I'm comfortable when things happen. I know whatever's meant to be will be type stuff.
Yes.
But have you had someone come in who you try to help and they're just like difficult? I'm wondering.
It's I'm gonna say it's a really dual-edged question, because I'm gonna say no. I've never had anyone that has come to me. Because whoever comes to me is usually looking for that type of healing. It's not like someone who's like, oh, I saw Reiki and I just wanted to experience it. It's few and rare.
Okay.
However, I did have one person that was gifted a treatment, and she came in and she was not spiritual at all. Like she did believe in the sound, and she did have facilitate or had experienced like different sessions with sound, but was not one to believe in that sort of thing. So because I know, for example, with my sound, even with Reiki, like there is no tangible scientific evidence except from you feeling the touch, feeling the warmth of my hands. With sound, it is much more tangible. It is much more scientific. Like we know that we are excellent conductors of sound. We know that sound can affect us and change our perspective and our mood and our emotions. So it's those two aspects.
Cranberry nut?
Yeah. Oh, mine. Thank you.
Nice.
Ooh, I don't even know what all this is. I didn't know it came with so much.
That was great, dude.
I thought I was just getting a little cup of oatmeal.
I thought so too. That's why I didn't want to get something big, but I'm like, okay. So for somebody that doesn't believe in the esoteric, doesn't have that sort of spirituality within them, and that would come to me like that person did, I just gear it very much to the scientific aspects of it. At the very end, this is very fact and true, at the very end of a sound bath, you will feel relaxed and you will feel at peace. Unless your mind is wandering around and you don't actually give yourself permission to rest, then you'll continue in that state and you actually will not enjoy it. But if you give yourself the opportunity to just relax, even if it is sleeping, if that's what you're called to do, I tell people, if you are called to sleep, sleep. It's the best thing you can do. It's only when you're unconscious that your conscious being can heal itself. And so those are the beauties, the aspects of why it's so great to receive a sound bath.
I would probably fall asleep. Every time I do the fascial stretch therapy, when they do it on me, I pass out immediately. I'm like in my own world.
It's a therapy that's not for everyone. I will tell you that. I have friends that are very respectful of what I do. They really appreciate everything that I do, but they also will never come to a sound bath. And their comments are, I'm too cerebral for that. My mind is always wandering. My mind is always thinking. I can't put myself into that state of consciousness.
But isn't that a good reason to go try it? to try and train yourself to get to that point?
I would definitely think so.
Right.
However, that is where your own personal will, your own personal opinion comes into play. Because yes, I've invited them many times. Like, they don't even have to stay at the event; they can just go and wander around and do whatever.
Yeah.
But they're still not choosing to do so. And so that's what I mean about like having a difficult client. It's I think that the selection is just happens intuitively.
Yeah.
When that person was looking for the healing and is
were
coming to you
interested in
for whatever it is you have to offer.
Makes sense. And so you are mobile. You provide the service at different locations.
Yes, I don't have a studio right now currently, so I do provide my services in different locations. I can go to your house. I can go to your business. I'm doing that as well. There is one studio that I primarily work out of, which is the Healing Arts Institute. It's 6633.
Oh, I was doing stretching there for a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that place.
Yeah.
And so they host my events, and I'm
awesome.
doing a couple of I think I'm doing 6 events per month there, and they're hosting those events there. So, but other than that, yeah, I'll travel. I just actually had a personal sound bath in Las Cruces last Sunday.
Oh, nice. All right. And then I guess, is there anything else that you would want future clients, potential clients, to know about your services or about you? Just to have an open mind. I thank everyone that comes by and that they trust me with their experience. You know, there's a lot of opportunity for us to heal ourselves. You and I individually. I'm only here to facilitate that experience. I'm only here to facilitate the ability for you to heal yourself. It comes from within, and it comes from yourself wanting to do that. And so I encourage everyone to take much more care of themselves, to be able to provide yourself with self-care. One of the things that I always say in my South Baths is thank you so much for being here and for honoring your being, for being present and taking time to take care of yourself today. Yeah.
And so I would highly recommend that for anyone, whether it's seeking a service with me, seeking a service with anyone else. Just allow yourself to enjoy that time and to be able to take care of yourself 100%.
All right. Well, thank you for sitting with me and explaining everything you do and a little bit about yourself. So I appreciate it. And let's eat this food now.
Let's do it.